Hello! Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today I thought I would make a video that has been going around in my brain for quite a long time. It's one of the reasons that I started my YouTube channel in the first place, because I wanted to make videos like this. Being an illustrator or figuring out how you're going to become a freelance illustrator can be a really bewildering process, and for me anyway, when I was starting my career there wasn't that much information, so I thought I would make a video about it. So the first thing that I'm going to talk about is what to expect during this first stage of your career, and this is something that I really wish I had had a bit of warning about, because I really had no idea what it was going to be like after university going into the real world. But these are just some things that I came across and that I wish I'd had a bit of warning about, really. First thing that you're going to have to expect during this early stage in your career is a day job. This is something that everyone needs. For me, definitely, I had a day job for a long time after uni. I graduated in 2010, and all the way up until halfway through 2013 I had a day job, and most of the time that was a full-time day job. So you're going to have to learn how to manage your time, which is quite a tricky thing. It's really stressful when the only thing that you want to do is illustration, but obviously you have to go out and waste most of your day doing this job that you don't really want to do. My advice would be to choose a job carefully. Choose a job that doesn't stress you out so much that you get home and all you want to do is go to bed. A job that isn't too tiring. I worked as a waitress for most of the time, which is tiring physically, but mentally I still felt like I could come home and work on my illustrations. But the good thing about having this day job is that it really strengthens your desire to quit it. I know that was true for me. I absolutely hated being a waitress. I'm a really shy person, so I used to spend a lot of the downtime just thinking about my illustration career and kind of crafting a plan of action. And also it makes you really organised, and you can juggle your time between your day job and your illustration time, and that's going to be really handy for when you become a freelance illustrator, because a lot of your time is spent prioritising different jobs, and you're not just working on one job, you're working on different ones overlapping. Wisely maybe pick a job that's not far away from your home, so you're not wasting any extra time travelling to your work. Expect to face a lot of rejection, or perhaps more commonly, silence. I know I face this a lot. You're trying to get your work out there, you're sending it out a lot, you're doing a lot of promotion, and often you don't hear anything back. It can really get you down, but that rejection never really goes away. It's always going to keep popping up when you're trying to work for yourself. Your work's not going to be right for every job or every client, and the sooner you toughen up and thicken your skin, the better. I consider myself now to have quite a thick skin, but when I started out, every disappointment hit me really hard and it was pretty stressful. But what really helped me was to realise that not every rejection and not every non-response is a direct dig at you or the work that you're producing. Try not to take the rejection too seriously. It can be for a number of factors, and probably isn't because they think your work's shit. Art directors are really busy and they might not have time to respond to you. They might just have saved your work to file and they'll get back to you in a few months or even a year's time. That's happened to me a few times. It can be to do with budget, it can be to do with timings of a project. Often projects are cancelled, and you've got to try not to take it to heart. It is just the industry that you're in. The main point here is to keep on going, because there are going to be other people, they're going to give up, and you don't want to be one of those people.
Quentin, have you got any career advice? Any helpful tips you can think of?
Just because you finish education doesn't mean that the lessons stop there. In fact, I learnt the most that I've ever learnt in the years after graduating. So you should know that you're probably going to make some mistakes. You're also probably going to come across people that know that you are new to the industry and take advantage of that. I definitely came across a few art directors who definitely didn't offer me enough money for the job and knew that I would be completely eager and excited to take the job on. So you've got to really educate yourself, but just be aware that there are probably going to be some mistakes made and try and embrace them because you've learnt your lesson and you won't do it again.
Social media.
One more slightly negative thing to expect is all of the confusion and self-doubt that you're probably going to run into. I spent a lot of my early years in extreme angst because I never really knew if I was on the right track or if I was completely wasting my time, because there is no set way of doing it. And the only thing I had to go on that I knew for certain is that you have to work hard. So I just felt like as long as I was working hard, it couldn't really go wrong. Try not to be too confused, try not to stress out too much about whether you're on the right track or not, because as long as you're working hard, as long as you're trying to push forward and you haven't just stopped, then it's all going to work out in the end, and this confusion, this bewilderment is only going to stress you out some more. So keep reevaluating what you're doing, which is what I always did. I always questioned what I was doing, but I always came to the same conclusion, which is I'm working hard and I'm really enjoying it, so I'm just going to keep doing it and hopefully it works out. So I'm going to end on a positive note. Something to expect during these early years of finding your career is that you're going to be ridiculously inspired and you're going to make a lot of progression in your work. That's definitely true for me. I had a lot of worry, but also I pushed on through that and I made huge leaps and bounds in my work, and I really discovered my style and my preferred way of working and also what I was interested in the most. So that was a massive positive for me, and when I look back over the first few years, I feel really happy that I achieved that. Having goals, I think, keeps your brain really stimulated, so you're going to be able to keep thinking of new ideas, you're going to be wanting to work as much as possible, and yeah, it's going to be a really good time for lots of progression, lots of ideas, and lots of hopefully really good new work. So this is going to be the end of part 1, and I hope you've enjoyed watching it. I was going to do this all in one video, but I think it's better to have things in bite sizes, so I'm going to make probably 1 or 2 other videos to follow this one. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments. Yes, please subscribe to my channel and show it to anyone you think might be interested in this sort of stuff, and I will speak to you soon. Bye.